What's going on, you guys? James here, and I'm gonna keep it real with you. 2019 was arguably my favorite year for movies of this past decade, but 2020? Oh man, yeah, it looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun too. Before I get started talking about the 20 most anticipated films for 2020. If this is your first time here at the channel, welcome to Real James. Now if you're wondering who that is, that's me. So if you like what you hear and what you see, go ahead and hit the big red button below, subscribe to the channel, tap the bell right next to it so you stay up to date with anything new I drop here at the channel, and don't forget to like this video, share it with all your friends, and also in the comments, let me know, what's your most anticipated movie for 2020? Oh, and if you missed my top 10 of 2019, don't forget to find that video right below in the description, or you can click on the video above. Now before we get started, one film is not better than the other. This is in no order of importance. Let's just go ahead and talk about my 20 most anticipated films for 2020. I'm saying the number 20 a lot. I know. So the first film on my list is Bad Boys for Life. Now, listen, I love Bad Boys 1. Bad Boys 2 is a little long, so I understand it can get a little boring, but I still enjoyed it for the most part. The thing is with Bad Boys for Life, I love seeing Will Smith and Martin Lawrence back on the big screen together, and I know Michael Bay's not involved, but still, this is going to be really fun, and I'm super excited based off the trailers. The humor worked, it seems lighthearted, and I guess because it's shot here in downtown Miami, I feel a little bit of an obligation to go and watch this movie, so I'm excited to see what both Will and Martin can really just put out there on the big screen, especially this late in their careers. Alright, so another film I'm really anticipating this year is Birds of Prey. Now, can we get the exact title here? Let me find it, because my gosh. Alrighty, so the title is, and I'm just going to read it off my computer, Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. If that doesn't catch your attention, I have no idea what will. But the reason why I'm anticipating this film is because, hey, Margot Robbie's performance as Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad was the only reason I liked a little bit of Suicide Squad. It's why it didn't get a 1 star, it was probably like a 1.5, 2 star. But Margot Robbie's representation of the character is really unique, very quirky, and honestly, sometimes it's a little scary. So I'm super excited to see what Margot Robbie can bring to the big screen, and I actually like this recent run from DC Comics outside of Aquaman. I didn't like it too much. Now here's a film that I forgot about, actually, until I started making this list. The Invisible Man. Now I'm excited for it because I remember how good the trailer was, and how interested I am to see how they really take this spin from a classic to a modern day rendition. It looks thrilling. I think it looks scary. I hope they don't show too much more in the trailers. Yeah, I'm kind of excited. Now here's a film that I'm 110% in for. Now that's because I love Edgar Wright. He's one of the best living and working filmmakers today. And then you have him doing horror. Like, that's awesome. If you've seen any of the Cornetto trilogy, you know he can actually craft some scary moments. And I love what he did with Shaun of the Dead, for example. And yeah, it was more comedic than what this film might be. But Last Night in Soho, releasing this year? Like, are you kidding? This is fantastic news. So I'm really excited to see what Edgar Wright can do with the movie. But not only that, I'm interested to see how much comedy's in the film itself. Now, if the script is straight horror, I'm in for it. If it has a little bit more comedy, I'm still here for it. Now this next film is one of 2 Pixar movies on this list. Onward, starring Tom Holland and Chris Pratt, is going to be a very intriguing movie because the first time I saw the trailer, I did not like it. Now listen, it's not that it was a bad trailer. I just thought it's not even that interesting. But then I kept seeing more and more trailers, and I kept reading more about the plot, and I thought, oh boy, okay, this has potential to do one of 2 things. Make me cry uncontrollably, or hit me right in the feels, to where I leave the theater and I'm thinking about this movie for the rest of the week. So yeah, Onward has potential to be one of the best animated films this year. Okay, so here's a film that you probably already saw the trailer for, but A Quiet Place Part 2 starring Emily Blunt, Noah Jupe, directed by John Krasinski. Now, if you haven't seen the first film, I really encourage you to watch it before you see this movie. I'm sure it'll catch you up to speed, but I really love that John Krasinski is back. That's probably my main driving force for this movie, because I remember he didn't want to do a sequel, and they kind of reached out to him, and the studio was like, listen, this movie's banking at the box office, please come back for a sequel. John Krasinski had something in mind, so I'm really excited to see him back in the director's chair. And not only that, Emily Blunt did a great job in the first movie, so I'm excited to see what she does in part 2. Alrighty guys, so this is actually one of my most, if not the most anticipated movie for me in 2020, 007. No Time to Die. Now guys, listen, whenever a Bond movie releases in a movie year, it's going to be a very exciting time. And the fact that this is Daniel Craig's last Bond film, coupled with the fact that Cary Fukunaga is actually directing this, he did season 1 of True Detective, I am so pumped. I mean, the trailer was outstanding. It was gripping. It felt like old Bond, which is really cool. For me, Daniel Craig is the best James Bond. Now, just like Pixar releasing 2 films this year, you have the MCU releasing also 2 films this year. So this is Marvel Studios' next film, after, of course, Endgame, with Black Widow. Now, this is kind of like a prequel of events that took place in like Infinity War and Endgame, if I'm not mistaken. If I am mistaken, please let me know in the comments. But yeah, Scarlett Johansson's back, Florence Pugh stars, David Harbour's in here, and I love actually what the trailer did, which gave me more of like a Mission Impossible vibe. So yeah, there's no reason for me not to be really anticipating Black Widow for this year. Alright guys, so let's move on to the next film. Now, this is a deal with me and the Fast and Furious franchise. I love these movies. I'm not going to say all of them are guilty pleasure movies because I have no guilt in loving these films. They're fantastic action movies. They have some of the biggest and most radical action sequences I've ever seen on film, but also I think they're just fun. The movies know what they are. They're not trying to be bigger than what they are, and they've actually transformed over time. I mean, from Fast 5 onward, it became a heist movie, it became a thriller, it became an espionage series. Like, it's so cool. While we haven't seen much of Fast and Furious 9, I'm excited to see where the franchise goes from here, especially with the absence of The Rock, Jason Statham. I think it's really cool to see where the series is going to go after 8, because I didn't particularly love 8. I liked it, but I thought it was maybe running out of a little bit of fuel towards the end. I don't know where they're going to go from here. I think Vin Diesel was on record saying he wants to do 10 films, so this is just exciting. I don't know. I'm just pumped for it. I know I mentioned it earlier, but this next film, Wonder Woman 1984, has me so excited. All of the still images, the trailer, it is insane. I'm just so excited Gal Gadot gets to actually reprise her role as Wonder Woman because, guys, she is outstanding in this role. She's probably my favorite Wonder Woman because not only is she, I can't curse, not only is she awesome, I was gonna say bad and then, the A word, but I can't say it. She's also very human, and she understands people, and she loves people, she has a heart for people, so her character speaks to me, and I love exactly what she's doing in this role. I can't wait to see Patty Jenkins come back and just ramp up the intensity. I mean, the way the film's playing with colors, especially in the posters and the still images, it's just gonna be fun. Alrighty guys, so we're almost towards the end of my most anticipated movies of 2020. Let's go ahead and talk about Soul, the next Pixar film to release this year. It's insane to think we have 2 Pixar movies releasing, but I'm intrigued because I didn't really understand much about this film to begin with. I didn't really watch the trailer either, I won't lie to you, but I read a little bit of the summary of the plot and what the story really entails. It seems super heartfelt. I love everything about the aesthetic, so I'm really excited to see what Pixar can deliver. And then you have Top Gun Maverick that I'm super excited for, not only because it's Tom Cruise in an action film, but because it's Top Gun. I mean, do I need to say anything else? Now, this next movie is really interesting because Ghostbusters Afterlife is not something I ever thought I would ever be watching in 2020. The first advanced screening I ever attended as a critic was Ghostbusters in 2016. I hated the movie, thought it was awful, and I figured, hey, this franchise is just gonna die. It's done. Let's just bury it. But no, they're back with Ghostbusters Afterlife, and it looks promising. Listen, I don't know what to expect, but I really hope it's good. Now, this movie might end up being one of the best of the year. I'm actually really expecting it to be A+++, but Christopher Nolan's Tenet seems to be insane. John David Washington is an outstanding actor. I loved him in BlacKkKlansman, and he's one of the lone bright spots for Ballers. But oh my god, I don't know what to make of this trailer other than it looks absolutely out of this world. It's going to play with time and dimensions and space and stuff, and not space like Interstellar. Trust me. Now, this movie kind of inched its way onto my list at the last minute, but Halloween Kills. Didn't really care for the previous Halloween film, and actually thought it was pretty mediocre. But hey, it's a Halloween movie. I like horror films, and I'm curious to see what the heck they're going to pull out of their hat. So yeah, I'm anticipating this film, even if it's just a little bit. Now, here's the second of the Marvel Studios films to release in 2020, Eternals. Super excited for this movie. Have zero idea about any of these characters. I've been reading up about them. I think it's more of the cast that's pulling me in, not much of the story. So maybe this will have this Guardians of the Galaxy kind of effect on audiences, where you don't know much about the characters, but it ends up blowing you away and you fall in love with everybody. Godzilla vs. Kong. I cannot believe we're getting another Godzilla movie this year, but we're also getting him versus King Kong. Okay, I'm in for it. Listen, how much more do you want? It's a monsters movie, just go have fun with it, right? Now, here's a film that I'm really anticipating because I absolutely love the director, Dune, directed by Denis Villeneuve. Is that how you pronounce it? Please tell me if I'm wrong in the comments, but Denis Villeneuve. This cast is amazing. The story is, actually I don't know anything about the story, but it just says Denis Villeneuve on the title card. He's directing it, right? So I'm watching it because Blade Runner 2049 is one of my favorite movies of the previous decade. Okay, here are the final 2 films that I'm anticipating for 2020. Coming to America. Now, I love the original, and I have zero idea what to expect with this sequel. I mean, Eddie Murphy, he killed it in Dolomite Is My Name, so now I'm honestly so excited for everything he's gonna do after that success. And the last film on my list of most anticipated movies of 2020 is West Side Story. Now, don't fight me. I'm gonna watch the original before I see this one, I promise, but I have not seen the original West Side Story. All I know is Steven Spielberg is directing a musical. I don't think he's ever done one, correct me if I'm wrong, but he's been wanting to do one for many years. So I'm super pumped to see exactly what he can do with this cast, with this story, and I mean, it's Spielberg, bro. Are you not gonna watch this movie? Come on. Alrighty guys, so there you have it, my 20 most anticipated movies of 2020. I swear, if you had $1 for every time I said 20 and 20, you would probably have about $5 right now, so it's actually not that much. But if you enjoyed everything you just heard and saw, don't forget to go ahead and hit the big red button below, subscribe to the channel, and tap on the bell right next to it. Like this video, share it with your friends, and in the comments below, let me know which of these 20 films that I just listed are you most excited for this year. Again guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you at the next screening.